with the help of my mama. I can remember when I was 3 years old. I can remember it plain as day. My little brother, Tony, he had a baby bed. Excuse me, he had a baby bed. And he was about maybe 2, 3 months old. And we had a floor heater on the floor. And that floor heater sat so close to the bed, when he was kicking, his covers eased through the cracks and the crevices on the bed, and it slipped to the floor and it caught on fire, and it caught his bed on fire. But my grandfather and my mama was able to run in there and get him out of the bed, and nothing, no harm was done to him. About 2 years later, we were staying in the hood, and my mama was cooking some food, and when she opened up this can, she cut the can open, but she left the top of the can by like a thread. So, the top wasn't pushed all the way down. And where she put the trash at was down by the door. My little brother went and opened up the can. And when he opened the can up, he stuck his index finger down in the can and he shut the thing down, and it pinched his hand right there. And him trying to take it out and screaming and hollering, trying to take it out, it almost severed his finger. We went to the hospital. My father came. He was upset about the whole thing or whatever, but, Mama was doing the best she could do all the time. A year later, we moved into, the depths of the city, in the hearts of it. We moved down a little bit, but we was in the heart of the city. And I can remember this. And I'm going to take you down memory lane here. I can remember this. When we moved into this apartment, a lady came and told my mother that the guy who was just staying in that apartment had just recently died in there. So my mama telling her, like, what I supposed to do? Ain't nothing I could do about that. Well, it's bad luck or whatever. So my little brother had already been through the burn bed. He had already just went through a year later, and me and him was always in the stuff. Anyhow, this surreal day, and it's sealed in my imagination, in my psychoanalysis, in my heart, and I'm gonna take this to my grave. My mom, she had just got through doing her hair. I was 6 years old, my brother was 4, and she was in the washroom with a dishpan, washing some dishes, and she was preparing a little food for us in the front. She was right there in the front. I could see, like, right in the front where she was at. And this lady, Miss Daisy, she pulled up, and she had an old beat up jalopy that she came up in. And I heard a fishing pole crackle up under the tire. By me standing on the porch, I was out there by myself, and instantly a voice of inclination in my head said, go fishing. So when she ran over the pole, she ran over it, and I was able to go under her car and get the pole. And I took the pole out. Don't know nothing about fishing, 6 years old. I headed down toward the dead end from where we stayed at. It was on 5th Street. We passed across Avenue F, so we heading down to like a dead end. While I'm walking, I hear my little brother say, Chuck, where you going? I say, I'm going fishing. He say, I want to go. I say, nah, you can't go with me. So he said, if you don't let me go, I'm going to tell mama. So I say, come on, man, you could go. Grab him by the hand. So I'm toting a fishing pole in my left hand, and I'm holding my little brother by the right hand. When we got down to where I was going to throw the fishing pole, because I don't know nothing about no bait, I don't know nothing about no line. All the thing I just know is fishing. When we got there, we saw a 4x4. A 4x4 laid across the canal. And instantly when I got there, the fish thing wasn't even in my mind no more. I was thinking about sugarcane. So that board was thrown across the canal for the older guys that would cross over to go over to get the sugarcane. And I went across. Me and my little brother, we had on some red, white, and blue flip-flops. I would never, ever forget it. And when I went across, he was telling me, don't go, you're going to get in trouble. I said, no, I'm just going to go get us a few stalks of sugar cane and go across, to come back. So I get across like lightning. I go across. When I get across, I'm breaking the cane away. I'm breaking the cane away. And I heard Tony said, I'm coming. And I turned around and said, no, man, go back. So he was like, no, I'm coming. So by that time, another guy came that we knew, and he jumped across the guardrail to get on the side of the canal or whatever. And I couldn't do nothing but turn around and have open arms for my little brother like I'm standing now, enticing him to come on, I got you. And when he got in the middle of the board, the guy on the other end, he did that. And my brother fell in. When he fell in, I left my shoes across the thing. Now I'm in all that muck where we from, and I ran back across, and I could still see him beating the water, telling me, Chuck, help me, Chuck, help me. He was fighting the water. I got the cane pole to try to reach it for him. And I'm in up to my chest, like as far as I could go. I'm a 6-year-old, man. I'm trying my best, man. And when he went down and didn't come back up, I took off. And it seemed like I had to take off for 10 miles, man, to go get my mama. And this is exactly what I said without the change of a dot. Mom, your baby in that canal. And I can remember dishes just clacking out. She dropped the dishes, and I'm running behind her. She crying. It's a crowd done built up down at the end. And we got down there. It's a few guys, they dove in to try to see if they can get him or whatever. And by that time, the police had came or whatever, and they, eventually, brung my brother up. And he was, he was like full of water. They was pumping his chest. One of the police officers, he put me inside of the car. I can remember crying. My mama was hollering, and I was all over the place in my feelings or whatever. So, we went to the hospital to follow the ambulance and in the police car. And when we got there, my baby brother had passed away. So those dreams of that day just stayed with me. And I remember the day of his wake. I had an old beat up bicycle, whatever. I took the bicycle and I left 30 minutes to an hour or so to go to the funeral home. And when I went to Mr. Miller Funeral Home, it's a store now. It's called a 4th Street store now. And I went there to knock on the door. It was closed, and the guy was like, "We closed." And I was 6 years old, man. And I said, "That's my brother in there." And he opened the door. Mr. Miller said, "That's his brother. Let him come on in." And I can remember him opening the casket and me walking up, kissing my brother. He had on a blue suit with a red tie. And his hair was cut immaculate. And I just cried, man. I told him I was sorry, man. And, that day changed me. And I've been using that. And I'm going to keep using that on my audio book. That day changed me. Because losing my brother was something that I will never get over. And God is a merciful God. And I understand and I know that he's so merciful that ain't no kids going to hell. So I know my brother in heaven. So my job is to do the best that I can do and entice those around me the best that I can do to try to make it into heaven, because one day I want to walk into paradise and I want to run to my brother's arms and tell him, "Tony, I'm sorry, bro. I'm so sorry, bro. I love you, man."